Hello and welcome to the Lunar Poetry Podcast. I'm Michelle Madsen and I'm here with Peter Odendaal and Adrian van Wyk from InZync Poetry in Stellenbosch. We're at the Roundhouse today and we're going to be chatting a little bit about their brilliant poetry night and their own poetry which has brought them over to London. Hi guys.
Hello.
So Adrian, can you tell us a bit about the night?
Our platform focuses on providing multilingual content to audiences, and we purposefully do that when we curate the evening, is to bring different styles of poetry together. So it's the InZync poetry sessions, it's the place where the poetries meet. So it's this meeting place of different poetries, different languages and different forms of expression onto one platform.
Sounds coming from a sort of one language poetry world, which is the UK poetry scene at the moment. Obviously you get people coming in and doing different things. It's quite overwhelming almost to be met. It's overwhelming and impressive to be met by all of these multilingual poets. Yeah. And even if you don't understand the language, you can still get quite a lot out of what's going on. How do you choose the people that you bring on? I mean, is the poetry world very interconnected in South Africa? Are you pulling people from Cape Town or from all over the country?
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't think it's very, the poetry world is very, very connected. It has always been quite sort of fragmented, it's few individuals doing different things. What we usually do is most of our poetry draw from the greater Cape Town area or like the Western Cape. Every now and again we'll have travelling poets either from overseas or from other parts in the country that we'll also host. But there's definitely like a very particular sort of regional character to the session. So mostly the languages that you'll hear, there's Afrikaans, Xhosa and then English. Sometimes a bit of Sotho, but those are the three main languages. And then maybe we can just also say that the sessions are held in a township on the periphery of Stellenbosch. So that's the traditionally black areas. And so what we're also trying to do is to create a platform in a community where something like that doesn't exist.
How did you guys end up in? Because I went to this venue and it's like an amazing bar that's sort of perched on a little hill overlooking the glittering lights of the city, but very much in the township. A taxi driver I got from Cape Town, which is a very expensive taxi ride, was like, "Are you sure you want to go here?" Ridiculous. How did you guys find that venue? How did that happen?
That's a good question.
Yeah, it just happened. I think
I heard about this venue, and then we just approached the people and asked if we could use that space and bring more students into this.
It's a bar, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's just like.
Well, at the moment, it's not really used for a lot of things. It used to be a restaurant, a theatre for a while, and so on. So it's like it's a bit of an in-between phase at the moment. But yeah, it's essentially a township theatre that we use.
As far as you know, is this the only poetry night in South Africa that's in a township?
No. There are poetry gigs that are happening in other townships around the Cape Town area.
In the country as well. It's the culture of gathering and sharing stories is very strong in South Africa, and the poetic tradition of various languages have their own form of gathering and their own form of getting together. So a lot of the time you'll find gigs happening without the formal structure of a gig. So there won't be sound or there won't be marketing, but everyone knows to be at that place at a specific time. So it's a very organic sense of a community and getting together and sharing stories. Like there's a poetry movement in Cape Town, good friends of ours, Lingua Franca from Delft, which is also a township in more closer to Cape Town side. And they started in a shack. They started their poetry session and it's now developed over 4 years and they still have regular poetry sessions without the formal structure of the gig, without those formal things like sound and marketing. They just get together and they perform. So I think that side of poetic tradition in South Africa is quite healthy.
Okay, well maybe could we have a poem from one of you guys? Who wants to kick us off? Peter's ready. Peter's ready.
Okay, so this one is for a prehistoric fish called the coelacanth. And they were long thought to be extinct. They live very deep in the ocean where there's no light, so this is for one of them. When you swim backwards and do awkward headstands, you're a slow-mo acrobat without crowd or lights. The black blue sea, your only audience. Kilometers above you, ice ages have come and gone. You were there before reptiles, dinosaurs, birds, humans, empires, and you'll still be performing your silent tricks faultlessly, even after our last syllable. Stay away from here. The light will make you ignorant of the wisdom of darkness. When the rest of us swam upwards, dried ourselves and went to look for air on land, you kept low, waited for the sea to calm down. Stay away from here. The light will make you ignorant of the wisdom of darkness. Teach us to live in the dark like you, to be done with audiences and lights, so that we can learn just like you, to once again read the tingling of each other's electric dreams at night.
Book!
Thank you. That's amazing. Listening to it, I was sort of thinking this could be read in many different ways. And quite like one of the things that I've found was that pretty much everything that everyone performed at your night was political. Saying something really about the condition, not just of that person as a human being, but what it is to be in South Africa and alive at the moment. Peter, is that something can you tell me a bit about why you started writing poetry and how poems like this come about for you?
Well, I started writing when I was about 18 years old. I really only got into it about 3 or 4 years ago. And I don't know, I mean, I guess I write whenever I feel touched in some way or something. I mean, but then also, like this poem, for instance, has a interesting history because it was like part of a course in creative writing that I did, and we had to compose a poem to some animal. So I just went and looked for an animal that I wanted to compose a poem from. That's where it came from. But a lot of my poetry, I guess, is I'm really interested in the natural world and relationship to the natural world, but then also, of course, the political realities that we face in South Africa, and sort of poems about identity and identity politics. How do I see myself as a white, so-called Afrikaner, South African? Like, how do I fit into the greater scheme of things? So yeah.
Yes. Adrian, do you want to give us a poem as well, and you can tell us a bit about where your thoughts fit in terms of how you write?
Slowly words pierce dreams, one poke at a time, deflating hope, one consonant at a time. As empty promises scavenge the sky with little consideration, whilst minimal action feasts on goals. Dreams of childhood magnitude which love is supposed to exude has been pulled down to reality cleverly by those that have figured out the dosages of how many promises are needed to bring about happiness. They inject their venomous words with no care, allowing straight promises to kill dreams on street corners everywhere. The books will arrive on Monday. We're doing our utmost. The books will arrive on Monday. We're doing our utmost. Struggle credentials overshadow essentials, like the capability of accepting the responsibility that power brings. That's why mass graves of imaginary friends can be found not too far away from the murder scenes of our children's dreams. You're still shocked in the average in high school tests? Like this from the skimmige British with promise-proof vests. A growling stomach acts as a vicious reminder into what's achievable. And then we allow our children to accept words into their vocabulary like impossible. The books will arrive on Monday. We're doing our utmost. The books will arrive on Monday. We're doing our utmost.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you very much. So I guess I'll pin the same question over to you.
Yeah.
Where does your writing come from?
I started writing, I think, when I was like 12 or 13. I was going through that phase in life.
Adolescence. What would creativity be without adolescence?
Exactly. Uncontrollable emotions and those things. So it started for me as a writing started as a space for to make sense of myself and to express. There was a lot of just trying to find clarity into what was happening to myself, entering into this journey, and then from there, writing has always been a tool for me to also make sense of my environment, to kind of like help channel and see where I'm going through words, and also I just enjoy exploring my vocabulary and trying to associate words with feeling.
What are the aspects of your environment that are really sort of affecting your writing at the moment?
This whole it's an international idea of rethinking, just rethinking education and rethinking what universities and those type of things, and also at the moment I'm just like trying to explore. There's so much happiness has arrived.
I just told that she had to make this one.
Thank you so much.
How's this one going?
It's over there.
Just to let you guys know that we have waffles with bacon and maple syrup just arrived, and we now have two exceptionally happy poets. So if you hear any munching in the background, that's what's going to be going on.
And so at the moment, I'm trying to. I just get it just feels like sometimes I only speak about sad things and about things that are real. But now it's just I'm exploring, like I'm trying to develop the style that I'm trying to come up called Barakat, which is Barakat is Arabic for blessing. So trying to find the positive within the negative. So find the happiness within the sadness. Trying to find the darkness within the light. So that's my journey right now.
How easy is it to write about happy things compared to writing about sad things?
I mean, it's...
How do you find it? I love writing poems of blessing or joy. They always come out a bit bittersweet. But I think that's balance, isn't it?
I mean, it's also about not shying away from the things that need to be spoken about. And I feel we need to find ways that we have healthy dialogue with each other, but also with ourselves. So it's hard writing about difficult things and about sad things. It's really hard, but it ends up. I mean, I have a poem that I wrote for my grandmother, and that poem ended up being a celebration. You know, even though it speaks about the sad poem, every time I perform it, she's with me, and I feel her presence with me. So it's about. Yeah, just that's how I see it.
Absolutely, thank you. I guess seeing as you guys are in London,
London town.
We're at the Roundhouse where you have been performing, and you're connecting up with lots of people in the UK poetry scene at the moment.
Yeah,
I'd be really interested to hear your thoughts about how. I don't know. This is your first experience of the UK poetry scene, or have you been here before?
No, first time.
Okay. So how does it compare with what you guys are doing in South Africa? Have you been kind of like impressed, or has there been anything that made you think, why aren't they talking about that? I don't know. I have lots of strong thoughts and feelings about it myself. But I'm not being interviewed. You guys are.
Well, I mean, for me, attending the Roundhouse Slam on Sunday night was a very it was an amazing experience. And also
who won? Was that Caleb?
Caleb won.
Caleb won, yeah, brilliant.
So that was really good to hear that sort of diversity of young voices, and to get a sense of what people are interested in and what they're talking about and so on. I mean, I was just blown away by the quality of the poetry in general, and the storytelling that goes into it, and so on. So yeah.
What was the winning poem about?
What was that?
What was the winning poem about? What was Caleb's poem about?
Oh, it was about the first poem that he did, which was his favourite. He was talking about how he come. No, that was the second poem. Was about Picton. The first one was about the Nile, the River Nile. How he sees himself being connected to the Nile, to the middle of the Nile, and sort of that. A celebration of Africanness.
Yeah, because it's from Sierra Leone, or his heritage is from Sierra Leone, so it was just a celebration of finding himself within this space within that heritage. And I mean, sorry to jump in, Peter. I just saw the content might be different, but the themes is exactly what young people back home are speaking about. It's the same struggles, it's the same journeys, it's just the same type of thoughts that young people are going through at the moment. And that was amazing to see that we connected by something so much deeper than, like, sometimes our geographic location separates us, but our humanity doesn't connect us. Yeah. And I felt so connected to humanity on Sunday night after that slam. I felt so happy to have been here as a poet and to see that language and stories are our connector, you know, and the themes are the same all over. The content might be different, but what the actual themes, what people are speaking about, are just the same. You know?
It's quite hard. It's really reassuring, isn't it? You're like, actually, we breathe and we eat and we sleep and we worry about similar things, and language is not a barrier, exactly as you said, if that happens. Now, I know that you're both tackling waffles and bacon, but can we get another poem from you, Peter?
Sure.
Thank you.
Okay. So this poem is called Reaching Shore, and it tries to describe a meeting of people across time. People coming together and listening to each other. Let's kick off our fins, zip open our skins like wetsuits and shake our ears clean. Now the past still clings to our faces like seed drops, but the fire will change all of that. Let me not think that I understand what water means to you simply because I've also swum. We have different currents that brought us here. But now that the dive is done and the beach is ours, we can dry our bodies by the same flames. Come sit with me around the heat, with the shingles of the ocean in our ears and the embers of the fight still fresh in our eyes. Never mind the stories that separate us. Never mind our lifeless skins lying in heaps like washed out kelp. Never mind our wet words and the inadequacies of night. The fire will change all of that.
Oh, that's great. Thank you so much. I think that was a really lovely segue from that conversation about the common themes of humanity. You've got kind of all of humanity just leaping out of the sea, shaking off the sand after a swim. Thank you. So I guess we're going to ask one more question from you guys, and then one last poem from Adrian to wrap up. But where do you sort of see InZync? I suppose two questions. Where do you see your own poetry going next? Like, sort of describes about what you've been feeling here. Are there any particular projects that you have on the go? And what's next for InZync? You're obviously here as ambassadors. You've done such a great job of pulling together lots of people in one city in South Africa. it looks as if you're forging links across the world. Tell me a bit about what's going on.
Okay, so maybe on a personal level, this has been a kind of a creative rebirth for me this past week. So I am very excited to go back home and just to start writing and not stop very soon, and to try and get a collection of poems out maybe in the next year or two. And then on a collective level, I mean, it's about creating more opportunities for South African poets to come here, for UK poets to come down to us, have more collaborations, create things together. Because we live in such a connected age, there are so many possibilities for digital collaboration, as we said earlier. Like that's definitely something that you want to look into. And yeah, I mean, I guess a dream would be to bring over a whole like minibus full of South African poets and just tour around the country.
And just tour the country, hit up all the festivals.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't have like a poetry circuit like you have here.
Yeah.
Like you have a cool circuit that people can follow in each city. So our next goal is to come back and do that circuit. Do a tour around the country.
You need to come and do Hammer and Tongue.
Yeah,
I think we better put you up on.
Yes.
Get you on that tour.
So and I mean bring some more poets bring some traditional mbongi, bring just a whole variety of South African poetry into this space to for people to see our context and to see where we come from.
Are there other countries apart from the UK that you're interested in connecting up to?
Definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we've got to start at home.
Yeah.
So also think about traveling a bit through our country, but also Southern Africa. You know, like get poets together from different sub-Saharan African countries.
I was going to ask actually because I'm planning a trip to Nigeria, and I was like, they've got a really strong spoken word scene in Nigeria.
Very strong.
That would be amazing if we could, you know, somehow collaborate like that. As well.
Yeah, we're speaking to a few people to try and get like conversations going between organizations in South Africa and in Nigeria. So we can also have an inter-African conversation and collaboration happening. Which is needed in an African context as well, because we've been so separated as a continent. I think this is the time for us to use technology and to use resources in order to unify through poetry and through our stories. And it's very exciting right now because we're going back home with this idea that the sky's the limit for us, and we can absolutely we can think it, we can achieve it. I mean, we thought when we met Sylvia Addison of the Roundhouse 2 years ago, we were just thinking and playing around the day after, like, we're going to London. We're in freaking London now, you know, like anything is possible. So,
is there advice that you'd give to poets out there who've got a great burning idea, passion for connecting people together, but are a little bit nervous or lack a bit of confidence? Because you guys have got, you know, you push hard and you make things happen, and sometimes I think people, you know, it's not necessarily very easy to go, I can do that as well. Is there any advice that you give?
Just keep at it, keep on keeping on. That's the best.
Yeah,
that's the best, I think.
And don't like underestimate what you can do. Don't think that no, this won't work, I can't do this. And so, but really try and cultivate that kind of openness towards creating new things.
Like word sound is power. What we say we become. That's how powerful we are. And channeling that into a way that you want to see for yourself. I'm sure everyone just wants positivity for themselves, so I mean, just sow in positivity and you'll reap in success.
I think openness is such a key word because like this is what poetry is, it's giving, isn't it? To give with open hands and not demand something back, but hope it comes back.
Just Yeah, the more you give, the more also you will receive.
Yeah. Oh, thank you very much, guys. Adrian, can you wrap this up with our last poem?
Cool, I'm just gonna drop one of my verses.
Woo!
Hello, salam, time to renew forgotten bonds with chants and songs learnt in a semester. The truth will fester. Welcome to the ceremony of wordplay with the ancestors. So swallow your vengeance as we partake in ascendance, communicating with higher descendants, exchanging and debating stories about our past, whilst educating black skins with white masks. Because my uitstick is hardcore in your gefrik. You suffer now quick from rhyme verdriet. Styles opgeleid die antieke kennis, maar nog steeds is ek die uneducated menace. Different translated to Afrikaans, verskillend. Expression deur rymkletskuns, brilliant. Afbreek lyrical op resisting systems. Stelsels word gekrumble if they practice resistance. En moet pas op. Hulle gebruik ons taal om te bepaal of sy inpas. Met hulle lineaal word sy verbind aan 'n rasklas. Met hulle lineaal word sy verbind aan 'n rasklas.
Amazing! Thank you! How many languages is that in?
Two.
That's more than most of my poetry. I'd just like to say a huge thank you to you guys for taking the time to talk to us. People can find out more about InZync Poetry at...
InZync Poetry on Facebook, InZync_poetry on Twitter, InZync Poetry on Instagram. That's where we at.
Website coming soon.
If you're interested in finding out a bit more about the people that I saw in Stellenbosch, I'm writing an article to go with this podcast, which is going to be up on my website, which is www.michellemadsenpoet.com. That's Michelle Madsen from Lunar Poetry signing out with Peter Odendaal and Adrian Van Leek.
Thank you.
Thank you.